Hello mateys, this is Discovery Scouts, a Pirates of the Caribbean film series here, and today is Friday in the night, November 18, 2016. So half is gonna be about Movie Madness, the second one for the Dead Man's Chest. So the currency will be upcoming about May 26, 2017. Before, interested about Baywatch in 2017 the Matt Budgerman for Dwayne Johnson, Summer Quinn, Alessandra Daddario, and Matt Brody for Zac Efron. Neighbors Choose the Word Rising for High School Musical first to third movie, and Dirty Grandpa and Charlie St. Cloud and 17 again. So today will be about documentary on Pirates of the Caribbean second movie, and will be to be continued to be on the characters, all this stuff is about. Very interesting. And the first thing about for fourth characters, the mostly have it very interesting about no, not the fourth. The first one would be Prologue. Second one is Turkish the Black Pearls landing in a prison. The third one is Will and Jack, and the fourth one character is Jack and Bootstrap Bill. And for the fifth character for now is William and Jack will leave. Will and the governor will see Elizabeth Swanson in jail. You know, he just literally aftermath of about last 2 days. They have other issues that about very love of them. His time to be able to be married at about 1 more year. But he knows about his friend and family, and he wanted to be the most involved. He could be asking the guys to keep a weather eye on the horizon. When the soldier asked him about Mr. Swan, but he didn't say Mr. Swan, say Governor Swan, sir. He reapplied. His key wouldn't have had a head wound. She wants him to meet Jack, and it's about the Black Pearl. And where he talks about the Beckon knows about his planning for his former friend. He said it doesn't matter. Will needs to find Jack, returning him to the Port Royal, and Defies needs him to the Charleston. But he says no, but he must find another to secure the freedom for him. And he wasn't lucky before Jack. Before is about very interesting who can find him. He misses to go, and he couldn't sign in and say Mr. Sparrow. He could about a respective about Arn is interesting. He would not be risking their lives to save the Sparrow to risk your lives. You know. He looking for the dog for the keys, and he looks like gone. He looks like he escaped and gone. He was considering he was on the boat. He was on the boat when Patel Spaghetti, just as is mentioned. You know, could he find him? And she would go to the Tortuga, where the same thing that saw them about the horizon once again, and he would return back. He returned to the ship. He would return back here. And he will find her for a love of her for one of good reason, one about the missed up a wedding for the last 2 days from yesterday. She probably for wasting the time, and she says he needed to go out for jail. You know, sometimes the brother particular. And she says she will wait for him, and he says goodbye for her. He was saying about very happily, keep a weather eye on the horizon. And he says goodbye for she says goodbye for Elizabeth. She ran for the ordering for the scuttle ship for one of the men's ships, one of the scuttle ships. For mention that the Jack Sparrows was the intention to see and wanted about last 3 years. For saving sparrows, once the orderly wasn't enough. He wasn't in the Singapore. The old guy in the man of the Marauder, but he says Singapore. That's where we do. So the type for the Jack Sparrow who left the Singapore, and that's the man guy. That's the old guy. That's what the old guy Marauder says, and he says he can go. He will thank him. And Scarlet Gazelle is saying Jack Sparrow, and he never seen in the whole moment. And those are two girls. Talks by the will, and he will find that a misunderstanding. And she slapped Will's face with no reason. And today, for the black guy in Marauder, for the guy in Marauder, he would reply. For Jack Sparrow, for the voluntary about the shields. If Cutterson, he couldn't have seen about Jack, he would find the ship there, and he was sailing into the black sails. He would speak to them for the final ransom for Horizon. He's zooming in with the black pearls landing on the ocean to send there for the Pelegostos Island. And he was been arrive. He will certainly be kill all the crew. For the rest of it, for the two cages up there on top of in the cliff rock, the mountain, and the ones in the rowing the boat, who released him from Axebec, and one moment of the beach right there. What about you? What? What did you? Maboya, monsieur. That the black guy speaks languages, and he goes back to ship, and Willow swims all the way down to the underwater, and he swims to the beach. There could have been nobody here on the ship, and he walks around up to the mutiny on the reef. He yells loudly and the two times. The lot of the 3, 4, 5, 4 times, and says, Jack Sparrow, Marty, Cotton. Everybody, they're not here. They're not on the ship. They are sailing for the anchoring down there into the beach, to almost closer to the palm trees, into the jungles, and they're not sure they have the cannibal, the 180 cannibals, and that they have very issues about capturing around their very very emotional for capture, kill all the crewmen, and the one of them have the 20 of them for the rest of it, the whole lives. There must 8 of them from last 3 days. And sure there was a mistake. He wanted a mistake. And he looked down to the small bottle. That was a Gibbs bottle of those empty ones. And he sneaks to the jungle. And tries to scare the freaking out. Tries to trap up there to the swing around. Tries to get someone over about ambush. He missed for the fighting. Tries to get away from them, and he tries to tranquilize them with the blowing with his neck. Tries to drop the sword. Tries to tie it up with the wood palm branches, and tries to drums like it the Pelegostos escape. Josh tries to jump in for listening to my music every time for the last 10 years. But he walks in the meeting with Jack Sparrow for the chief. He seems like a good friend for the last 3 years. He didn't listen to him tried to walk away, tried to intention, tried to quietly. He wouldn't. He seems to be for the last of them 3 years last. He seems very happily. Jack Sparrow. I don't know to say glad to see you. It tries to pat on. It tried to tap it the 2 times. He would be easier. He would be easier to say, "Will, save it by the will." Jack, it's me, Will Turner. And he talks to the accountable captain and the chief. Say, "Co, speaking of the languages, and he speaks a lot of the native languages, like Native American. Yeah, not easy. Easy. They all of them the men and women, they have some of those accountable of homes, camps, and fans night and quarter very interesting. They have the most issues, and mostly have the most dangerous, the most contagious, distinguished, and digestious. However, Will has to tell him to let me down, and he's saying he'll long sleepy, and he sort of loses some of the confusion. He's looking down at just around. Long as I say lunicate, snip. They all of it is slightly, and he looking to the left of his compass on his about holding stuff, which is about holding stuff about what was gonna happen. The reasoning of Karen Knightley as Elizabeth was the danger. Who will come arrive for the East India Trading Company he makes for the services. What are they doing for the Caribbean, for the welcoming to the Caribbean Sea, for the Atlantic Ocean? The most of the seas, the most they have it's just very natural. It's a very natural way to the wildlife. The whole thing about fairy tribes and against them, and they're racing for the gallows, and they're trying back to talk to the chief, and just as didn't know that they're speaking English, they speak the cannibalistic languages, and they say holy kele, belek gele. They all of them say belek gele. He say save me. And they take him away. They take him away to the bone cage, the bone cage ride. He wouldn't say went down to. He's scared of heights. He said, "Jack, what did you tell him?" "No." And they cheer around all this the guys. And he wouldn't understand. He couldn't understand. Trying to walk them away. Trying to work out here. He said, "What about Elizabeth?" "Jack!" By the night of her fall, the mission of for one of the soldiers, where the government for Weatherbase 1 takes Elizabeth to get out of the jail, and to try to do what happens there for the Elizabeth there, and the Will Turners didn't find him escaping from for the Port Royal to Pelegostos Island. They have literally seen going for the capturing for the rib cage, and they no one could find the Jack. They no having much thinking about porting stuff couldn't find them Jack. Like he was followed by her for one of the no reasons. She wasn't doing anything could be about very exhausted, very frustrated him. And he said, "Do not regret it to be the ghost ones." And was it perhaps, but for well behind the reason, behind the inside the chariot, before the rules, tries to drive it to the for the captain, for the unknown. He said, "Wait inside," and tries to run her away. Tries to the ghostly. He says, "Captain." He stabbed him for dead. In mercers and interrogations, and he was selected to the king. It is for his Mr. Swan, and when the EITC soldiers just find him in this way for an escape, what did he says? Elizabeth, he said he blocked him. He said, what are they doing? What are he doing? He looks like she's gone. She's gone for now. She says, where is she? He got betrayed. He got underestimated, and tries to get a real. Tries to heal his responsibility. And Beckett works closely by himself with the knight. He was been intentions at about all the time for interesting for Bob Cutler Beckett. He intentionally doubted his services for the loyalty he was carrying in Vermont, and his father believes. And she sneaks inside for the what? She sneaks inside and says, "What about his?" He wasn't afraid that the currency they will have been talked about were about the realm. She couldn't understand for the Beckett is what he does, and she could have a feeling about realistic as known as about but the Beckets is Indian Trading Company Army as the villains. But he wasn't listening. He wasn't listening to him. He listened to her. He listened to her attentively, and she rode to the market beside of the kings. And she could be the really realistic to have the one for good reasons, and could be asked about asking to do it about very important things. And Rose sent him to the Jack Sparrow even about to see him for the last 3 years. Even though good, having the big mistake for him, and she would have been mistake for Jack, and she could have it about very special, and she pointed him gun over his head, and they have no idea. He had no idea trying to shoot at him almost. And she seems about the illegitimate for Captain Barbosa was measuring fast and about notoriously heroes as a villain. She had no idea. To see about Beckett's scenes about Isla de Manta for the last 3 years. With the treasure of the codex for the captains, and the Cursed Pirates once defeated it, and from the British Royal Navy for the Curse of the Black Pearl 2003. When Beckett scenes about the Isla de Mata, and he never seen this about Aztec gold, he was designing about the all of the treasure chests down there into the gold that lies under the treasure of these waters. Here was a big mistake. He clicks with the pistol with it under his neck, and tries to walk at him, tries to give it to him, tries to pat at him, and the rotor for the mark, and he tries to give it his compass, and Jack will needs to be the considerations. He says goodbye just as disrespect to him, and tries to run to sign in about this ship, signing to leave the go as a ship. In the daytime, and Patel Wiggety just escaped from the port well, just at about last night at midnight for the mention, and the guard are just escaping from the prison, when the prison guard just came at the boat, and Wiggety reads the Bible, and Pentello didn't notice about reading the Bible for the church. He was considered for the was it have been the souls about 10 years. His also sold about them, and knows about 1733. And he was just taking care of about his souls. He knows he can read what he can or can't read. And Patel tries the argument just temporarily. He tries to lie. Manson Bone the gate tries to close out the book, and he barks loudly. Alert! There's a look. There he is. And when the big dog just swimming all the way to the beach, they're seeing the catfish. They're laughing around and say, "Stupid Mongol." Whoa, that's what about a couple of minutes ago. Tries to swing out there for the beach, walking the beach, and when the Patel guy just waving through to get his wet for the water. But he's been right back to the pearl, and he would have saying the black pearl's back. So the guys to see the pearl back, what they say? So say puppy, boom, boom. They hear the drum speed alert, and Patel again tries to anchor that alert, turning around the maneuverability arrive the pearl back to straight around to the sea. The most they have to getting out of there for the sand, for the beach of the sand. They try not to be too close to the jungles, and they try to particularly, and they try to barking, try to get on the ship. The two of them decided to put the anchors out of there for the beach. That's it. And tomorrow for now, for Pelegostos Island to be continued. So don't forget to subscribe to more content to send in letters, www.com.org, Pirates of the Caribbean Films, and it's .gus. So tell your friends and fans including interesting about the Demis Chess documentary for the movie Madness. So all you do is about take it a long story, take a lot about very interesting about just like interviews with movie Madness, and follow me about my friend follow me with subscribers on Majaga Nuggets, Big Brother, Georgie Staubauger, Kid Behind the Camera, Bridget West, Amanda Corn, Juliet Riley, Psycho Dad, Larry's Lounge, Joe Bump, Psycho Uncle 1 through 3, Psycho Aunt 1 and 2, Psycho Mom and Melissa, and the Grandpa's Corner, and Boogie 2994, and Derry Diesel Daily, Space Jam Gardens, Life of Moko, Next Boo, Life of Boog, The Boo Show, and the Cuban Guy Life, and Creed, Bro Squad, Ragging Dad, Crazy Boyfriend, Crazy in Love, so Allison Daddario, Alex Anna, Forever Alex and Anna, so today. So follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Vines. Don't let me forget. So Elliot Giles, Ben Phillips, and Nana Giles. So try this again. So follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Vines, Situation Licensing, Gaming Challenge, Juggy Star, Cockatoy, Cockatoo, Tomalel, and Play Stores Hangouts. So don't forget to, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget that about see where you guys are selling at. So don't forget. So keep it rich, minis. Love you guys in the death and the guys in the good evening. So don't forget. So keep it rich and pirating, matey. Have a good night. Ding dong.